It's 9:25. Do you know where your children are? he could totally take over producing the Oscars. Anthony's right.
Yeah, no. I sent them a tape of the last show. That went straight to Jimmy Kimmel's office.
Is he not some kind of? I guess because it's always on ABC. Because I feel like they just put him in no matter what.
Yeah, he's like
he's just a shoe-in.
pinch hitter or whatever.
Oh,
they had to get a surefire winner in there after the last. What was the Joy Coy guy?
Oh yeah,
who bombed so hard and then blamed the writers. And
yeah,
that was bad. That was a bad look.
Yeah, it is a tough gig. I'll give him that.
Yeah, there's no way to win.
Unless you're Ricky Gervais, because they still show his clips from the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Just calling people out. Jimmy's a pawn. Fran Drescher's a shot caller. Yeah, it's shot. I like it. I can see her in the back. The nanny.
Pamela Finkelstein.
I didn't know she runs Hollywood now, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty.
They're saying she could be president now.
Really?
After winning the strike demands. That's a shoot.
We need a change.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to quote the late great Owen Hart, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. I mean, as a Jets fan, I was definitely nervous about Aaron Rodgers saying he was going to be VP. Plus, he's way too polarizing. I would have preferred Jesse the Body Ventura, but I mean, maybe Fran Drescher, is she going to be on that ticket with RFK Jr.?
No, I think she would be the president. She would be running for president.
She's her own thing?
And she would need somebody to be her VP.
Oh, can they use the same animation for the nanny, but then just have her walking to the White House?
Just continue the nanny animation.
After working in a nanny in Flushing, Queens, she went down the street to the White House.
Yeah. What would it be called? First Nanny?
Yeah, no. First Nanny. Or
Presidential Nanny?
Prezi? The Prezi?
Yeah.
I don't know if Prezi could work. Would you have guessed she would have been that tough? I always picture her in Saturday Night Fever.
Not me, man. UHF.
UHF, that's right. She's UHF too.
Yeah. I always think of her from UHF.
Yeah, she had something now, and now she's a shot caller.
Yep.
Good for her.
She won the strike.
Good. She did win the strike. Welcome, Internet. Welcome to a surprise house show after dark. Happen to be in town, and you happen to just finish like super late, so we just kind of whipped this together. So we are...
I think we did well.
We're doing it live.
Yeah. Well, like you said, there's a lot that was going on. And
I feel like there is a lot going on, and there's a lot more coming. There was a little bit of a lull. We had, I feel like 2 or 3 event films happen in March that could have been summer movies. And May feels like it's going to be a little slow. But we had a lot of trailers. We have a lot of shows dropping in July. And
you totally skipped April.
Yeah. I feel like April's is still going to be revving the engines for the last week of... Usually revs the engines for the first week of May, but I don't feel like that's happening this month. We can go do a rundown. And then plus I got worked by a social media shop, and I wanted to... I don't know, do you want to do a quick spoiler of what that's going to look like, and just a no context quick shot of what we're going to be talking about? And then we can test the camera at the same time. Yeah. What's going on here? Stick around and find out the story behind this little Gill man. You had Gill man music?
That's left over from the awards show, so like I said, we'll just use it again.
You had Gill man music, so... But we'll talk about the Ghostbusters. We'll start with Ghostbusters. It is the thumbnail. We got green slime. Did you hear they finally released the ingredients of Nickelodeon green slime?
No, I didn't hear that.
I feel like that was just
the original green slime.
The original green slime.
Like you can't do that on television.
You can't do that on television. That always got dumped on Moose's head.
Okay, I'm curious. What is it?
So let me pull this up. So I'm glad you did. You recognize where it did come from. Its original origin was you can't do that on television. Slime ingredients. So, the first ingredient was no. See, this one's wrong. Wikipedia, you got to update this. So it was vanilla pudding. It was green food coloring and oatmeal. And then they put a little bit more cottage cheese. But they used to use.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
That was the wrong button.
They used to use cottage cheese, but it got too hot under the studio
It
lights.
looked like cottage cheese now that I think about it.
Yeah. So
How did they get it green?
Oh, and applesauce.
Okay, applesauce and cottage cheese. That's awful.
And it always ended up in their mouth.
You never would have thought it would have been that bad.
Yeah.
And if you've worked on production, yeah, that's going to sit around in a bucket for hours.
Yeah.
A big bucket of applesauce and cottage cheese. What was the green part?
Green food coloring. There was nothing that was there was no green food. The edible stuff was pudding, applesauce, and oatmeal, and then green food coloring. Yeah. Can you imagine, dude? I mean, you've done that. How messy that's going to be, and how many? Like, do you just pick a day that's just going to be a mess day? Like,
You
where
just
you have
slime
to
everybody. You do all the punchlines.
Yeah, and then you just get it. Yes, vanilla pudding, applesauce, green food coloring, and a little bit of oatmeal.
That's how you make green slime.
Yeah, and it's different than the slime from Ghostbusters. Slimer. I guess that's the first spoiler. We can put the spoiler sting up, but like I was telling you, this is going to be a really tough movie to spoil.
It's not the Ghostbusters is on the thumbnail here.
Yeah.
They don't need to.
Yeah, they don't need any spoilers. But did you think that in what was the original 1984 that 40 years later we'd be getting another Ghostbusters?
No.
Right?
No. Also, the fact that I haven't seen it.
I was surprised you didn't see it.
Yeah.
It was pretty. It was the first, what I would consider their first real event movie. But it was just amazing that in 1984 that was the number one grossing comedy of like all time.
Yeah.
Until like Home Alone,
Yeah.
which was like 1990, and it was just really applauded for the special effects, which now look like Superman flying special effects, which weren't that great, but. What was were you a huge fan of that first Ghostbusters?
Yeah. But more so, my mom was a huge fan of the first Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
My mom came through in the VHS era, and that was one of the tapes we got pretty quick, or I should say, duplicated.
Yes.
back in the day. But yeah, it was a huge one. My mom collected the toys. She still does to this day.
It's amazing.
She was big into Ghostbusters, and it was it had to be one of the biggest selling tapes of the time.
It must have been because, when I was sitting there and I went to Alamo, Staten Island to see this, watching through the pre-show, I really, really forgot how much Ghostbusters really affected the pop culture and the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
I mean, people this day still know what Ecto Cooler is. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be like the number one high C drink of all time, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows Ecto Cooler. They brought it back. They had a war between cartoons, but they actually had to specify the real Ghostbusters versus this fake Ghostbusters, and I never even knew what happened. Like, was the trademark lawyer out that week? They'd forgot to say you can't use Ghostbusters.
Well, it was the early '80s, so it was still IP was kind of up in the air still.
Yeah,
I feel like because you watch, you could just ask somebody if you could use their IP in a handshake deal, and they'd be like, "Sure, I don't care," right? But I think that they were because there's a 1930s black and white film called Ghostbusters.
Oh, is there?
And that's where that other cartoon with the gorilla.
Oh, yes.
Spawned off of.
Okay,
I didn't know that. It did come first.
And they didn't. That wasn't the original. They shot a bunch of different promos. One of them was Ghost Breakers. One of them was Ghost Finders. They had a couple of different working titles before they landed on Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the song. I mean, is the movie as big as it is without that Ray Parker Jr. hit?
I mean, possibly, but it was just the time and place.
It just hit.
And it had we've discussed this before. It had a cameo from everybody in Hollywood.
It
It was
did.
in the Ghostbusters music video. You know, the thing about it was just a new concept and well executed. No one had ever really done that, where it was big budget sci-fi mixed with comedy,
Yeah, that was new. That was very new at the time.
and it's super grounded, but at the same time super fantastical. You know, it was a new feeling, and then Bill Murray's just so funny in it.
And yeah, he had a lot of improv. And then the script was a Dan Aykroyd shoot because like his family and his grandfather, they were all into
They're all into that
the
stuff.
paranormal. And Mike, what's up, Mike Museum 9? I was, this is one of the spoilers, non-spoilers. Mike said, "Give me the Ghostbusters Goonies Gorilla Cut box set,"
Hell yeah.
which is incredible. But the vibe I got for this movie is they found a way to requel Ghostbusters into Goonies. It very much more feels like a Goonies type movie than the Ghostbusters, where the adults, it feels a little less adult, wink wink, other than Bill Murray's tall, dark, and horny line, which also made the trailer.
Yeah.
But this one definitely started treading into Goonies territory. But it always had a little bit of dark. It was always a little dark.
The first movie was dark.
Yeah, because
know?
that had probably like elements of his original script, which wasn't a comedy, right?
Yeah.
So I know and even getting into Ghostbusters 2, I mean, that, to me, that also still felt really dark. That poster, the Vigo to Destroy, is that his name, Vigo?
Yeah, from part 2?
Yeah, that poster's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really scary poster. Like, if you take like,
But when you hear him speak, it's kind of, you're not scared anymore.
Yeah.
He's got that badly dubbed Max von Sydow voice. Yeah.
but, yeah, I saw Jimmy Kimmel you know how sometimes he remakes like some of the really, really, really popular songs, and he does it with kids' toys. And he got Ray Parker Jr. on there, and then Bill Murray came out with like a kazoo, and they did like a jam session with like the Ghostbusters jam. But I just think the music really helped keep it where. I mean, it was definitely, like I said, I think the movie still would have been a hit without the music. But man, the music really did just give it a little shot of Nas
Yeah.
on there, and the music had a really big part in this latest one.
But there's no Ray Parker Jr. song.
No,
There's nothing like that. There'll never be anything like that again outside of a Disney movie, probably. Well, I guess Barbie had some big hits, but it was just the right time and place and the right mix of ingredients. Bill Murray just refusing to do his lines. Like, he hated this movie. He didn't want to do it at all.
no.
He had just done some movie. I forgot what it was, but he was trying to be a serious actor.
Oh, Razors something.
Yeah.
yeah, Razors.
And he thought he was
Razor's
gonna,
Edge.
he thought he was going to win an Oscar or something.
Yeah.
So he did not care. So he just walked in, refused to do lines, and just ad libbed the whole thing. That's why when you watch the like part 2, it just feels off. You know, because the recipe's off. Because the first one was an accident.
Yeah, it was a total. It's a happy accident.
Yeah, happy accident, but it was not repeatable because you don't know what you did.
So you're gonna have to forgive me because I told you I'm having trouble with like locations of like where I currently am, and that includes universes. So I'm not sure what timeline I'm in. But could you name me another Ray Parker Jr. song without Google Foo? I have one, but I'm not sure if I'm in the same universe that this song exists. So I got to test you.
No, I have no idea.
No. So if I'm not mistaken, Ray Parker Jr. sang the song to a Richard Pryor 1984 kid show called Pryor's Place. Do you remember this show? Did it happen here?
I mean, I don't remember. I remember Pryor's Place hearing about it, and I may have even seen that clip, but I don't recall the theme song.
Does people?
But it makes sense that he would have that opportunity in 1984.
It's pretty wild to think Richard Pryor, like, that's like he was up there with like Red Fox of like being like the dirty comedians. He was like the original Bob Saget of just like, you know, that guy that you watch with your family on Friday nights? Yeah, he's foul mouthed. But like a Saturday morning Richard Pryor show called Pryor's Place, which is pretty much like Pee Wee Herman. The theme song was performed by Ray Parker Jr. of Ghostbusters fame, who also appeared in the show's opening credits.
Makes sense to me. Makes complete sense.
I don't know where I went with that, but I just was trying to think of another Ray Parker Jr. song. So back on the Ghostbusters, so we had 1, 2, and then they pretty much all wanted to just move away from this IP. So there was the rumors of a Ghostbusters 3. It never happened. So the next time after like the cartoon and stuff, we didn't see the Ghostbusters on the big screen until our lady Ghostbusters friends, right? Answer the call.
Right?
Right? And I was telling you early, all I remember from that is the guy from Silicon Valley was in the opening scene.
Which guy?
But wasn't Thor in this movie too?
He was, yeah. He played Annie Potts.
He What was that movie?
I don't know. Like, again, this just all goes back to the fact that Ghostbusters is unremakeable, unsequelable.
Yeah.
It was a complete accident. You know? Somebody made this movie drunk and they don't know what they did. And they've been trying to recapture the recipe. Think about this. I want you to think there's a through line from Blues Brothers to Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Do you see the through line there? Do you see how Ghostbusters kind of became Ghostbusters because it's an altered version of Dan Aykroyd's original vision? But if you think of his original vision being closer to Blues Brothers, which he wrote,
Yeah.
where the world is crazy, but it's completely no sold by the main characters. Some of that is still in there, you know.
Yeah.
These guys are just the gag is they're exterminators, they're bug catchers. You know what I mean?
But the bugs are ghosts.
But the bugs are ghosts.
Yeah.
And that would have been the vibe. That would have been the vibe had Dan Aykroyd directed it or whatever. I don't know, or had gotten somebody else. Who directed Blues Brothers? John Landis.
John Landis, yeah.
But I think by that time you couldn't hire him because of the whole
Twilight, yeah.
chopper accident.
Yeah, that was awful.
Anyway, but yeah. So you get to Ghostbusters Answer the Call. I don't even think it was called that. They just added that later.
Yeah, they answered it. They did. I think they did. I thought the casting was really good.
The casting was fine, and yeah, I mean it was a good idea. In hindsight, it's fine to just do an all-girl Ghostbusters, but why?
I don't have any heat with it. And
I think it was just at the time, all women cast comedies were big.
Girls do it better.
Yeah, it was just kind of where we were at the time.
Oh yeah, what was it? I don't want to call it wedding. Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids.
That's really what
you
was,
had
was the catalyst of this
Tina
film.
Fey was making movies, and
Yeah.
Amy Poehler was in movies. There was a thing going on, and someone thought that this would be a good idea. It's a fine idea, sure, why
Yeah.
not? But it doesn't have to be all women. Why couldn't you just have some women in the Ghostbusters or something, you know?
Well, this movie reminded me very much of the Jurassic Park requel, where it's just like, at this point, they had 20 Ghostbusters kids, people you never saw before, the OGs, the family Ghostbusters. And here's the thing, Hollywood, get your head out of your ass. Listen to us for once, okay? You need to pass the torch. I'm sorry. It's annoying when people are aware of the story and you don't pass the torch. It's so freaking simple. I don't understand why they don't do it. Now they're finally starting embracing it. Look at the success of Scream. That was a beautiful torch passing, right? That you acknowledge the old and you bring in the new, you give them the rub. They tried to do it in Star Wars, but they didn't do it. You need to effectively pass the torch. You can't kill these legends, or you could if it's going to be good for the story, right? Han Solo, good death. Luke Skywalker, bad death. But they did attempt to pass the torch. This Afterlife and this Frozen Empire work a little bit better than the Girls Do It Better Ghostbusters, because The original cast is like, okay, we realize we're getting old. The age actually even plays into the story, and then you're just passing the torch. Like, why is that so hard?
Because it all comes back to the fact that they don't understand what
They
made
don't
this
understand.
movie popular in the first
I
place.
think you're right, dude.
Look, this is if who does Ghostbusters? Is it Sony?
Sony.
Okay, can you tag them in this post? Because here's how you do Ghostbusters again. This is my take. Sorry to studio executives who have other plans or whatever. I'm sure there's other plans for the next Ghostbusters. It's going to be like Chris Pratt and I don't know who else.
Paul Rudd.
Chris. I think Paul Rudd's stock is dropping.
Yeah, he is.
But you could have done it. You could have just done. Here's the thing. You could have just done Paul Rudd, Camille Nanunjani, somebody else, and another guy, and or another lady, and them four.
Yeah.
And just do Ghostbusters again. Like, it's the whole premise is that this is a crappy job that they do.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, they were not getting. They were that, and that was big in this one. Like, we don't get paid to do this shit.
The who is it? The one who plays Mackenzie, whatever. The one who plays Egon's granddaughter.
Right.
Okay, you go back. Just erase these two Ghostbusters movies, and we're starting from scratch.
Okay.
Egon's granddaughter is some other actress that's like more like an adult already, right? She discovers she's Egon's granddaughter and the whole Ghostbusters history, and then finds out that they left her the firehouse. You still have the whole thing with the family's broke and they don't have any money, but now she owns this ghostbusting business. So she's like, okay, well, how do I make money with this? There's these laser guns and ghost traps here. Like, what do I do? So she reaches out to whoever, I guess maybe Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, who works in a cult bookshop.
Right. They lost the rights to all that stuff somewhere. Like,
Smart.
It's all gone.
They lost the rights.
So they got to bring him in to show him how to work the stuff or whatever. And then they got to hire, they hired Ernie Hudson in a newspaper ad.
Yeah.
So
he
like,
just want to get paid.
all right. So they have the equipment. They have Dan Aykroyd to show them how to use it, and now they got to hire some people. So you got the whole. They place an ad. They need new Ghostbusters, and they just hire regular people. But then you have it could be Paul Rudd, Camille Nanunjani, some other funny guy. Like you can make a mix of people.
Yeah.
And have a lady Ghostbuster in there too. Okay? And then they just do the movie again. That's it. They start busting ghosts, no sell the ghosts until it becomes a huge disaster type scenario. And you can recapture the magic.
To quote Ernie Hudson, we got the tools and the talent. It's right there. Again, if you say that, if you just pass, and that would have been perfect, right? One of the original Ghostbusters passes the torch.
Yeah.
Which I'll give it. In this one, even in more so, like the last movie with the Harold Ramis, the Egon ghost, it was kind of like an accidental torch pass. In this one, they really do acknowledge that they're passing the torch, and then you know Ernie Hudson is mysteriously rich, and then you find out he's building more Ghostbusters, like he's studying the stuff, and
I hate that.
He's working with Ray.
I hate all that. I hate that even exists. I hate it.
I don't know where he made his money.
I mean, that's fine. I'm sure. Winston went on to get rich after Ghostbusters, but they're not superheroes. You know what I mean? They're trying to MCU these IPs. You know, it's just like you've got to. The thing that made the first movie relatable was the blue collar elements of it. It was just a job. These guys started a business. They made a homemade commercial.
Yeah, on VHS.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's like we're ghostbusting to save the world. They don't even have good, tools and weapons. All they have is proton packs and ghost traps.
Yeah, and in this one, I'll give you a little bit of it. So Ernie Hudson, with a lot of money, he took over this old refinery that's kind of abandoned, but then you open it up, and now he's become like the James Bond, where he's coming up with like new weapons, and they figured out how to capture ghosts and study ghost, and they hired like this other nerdy guy that's helping them out, and then the girl from the last movies working there as an intern. So they're trying to make the Ghostbusters thing bigger. And they use Ray to like have people bring in all these haunted items, and then he brings it to them to be tested.
I hate all that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
They added a lot, and I guess Bill Murray's character, he kind of still works with them,
Yeah.
so he was still kind of in on it. But yeah, by the end, remember the scene in the last Jurassic Park when they had the old cast and the new cast, and then it's just like that last fight scene was just like it's really crowded.
Yeah.
Like there was just like everybody. That's what Ghostbusters. I felt like there was like 20 Ghostbusters here.
Ghostbusters don't fight.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to fight. Look, Mike says another path could have been ghosts are
Sorry.
commonplace and Busters made a franchise. Yeah. You go new locations, reboot cast needed like NCIS. Exactly.
Yeah, just bring it. Yeah,
But
Ghost-
you got to hang on to that grounded element of the fact that this was just a job that they made up. This was a business they opened, busting ghosts.
Yeah.
You don't question the existence of ghosts until 3/4 of the way into the movie.
Right.
It's never an issue. Only until it gets too ghosty.
It gets
Right.
very ghosty.
So, I don't know. Like
And this one did play, and of course, you know, they're not going to not nurture their remember berries. This one played heavily on the nostalgia too.
I hate all that.
Yeah, so if you were, you know, the very first ghost that we saw in Ghostbusters was Dan Aykroyd seeing the shishy ghost in
The
the library.
librarian?
Yeah, she has a cameo in this. They end up in a library and Shishy's back, which I thought they captured Shishy, so I don't know how Shishy got.
Why are kids busting ghosts?
Yeah, that
I
plays
didn't know
into it where a little bit where Dickless from the first one. Is this true? Yes, this man has no dick. He's like the mayor now.
Right.
He's the mayor, so that's what he gets him on. Like Egon's daughter is just like your child endangerment and slave labor. So they basically get Egon's daughter out of there. So she's got to be on the bench. So there's a little bit of family drama because they don't know Paul Rudd's character Gooberman. He's kind of like the head of the Ghostbusters now, and the mom is the second in command. And then Finn Wolfhard is like he wants to do more, and then Egon's daughter is a granddaughter. So that's the four that are in there, and then it starts to branch out there. So that's when it really started to me feel like Goonies, because like you said, you have kids busting ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, but it definitely feels like this is going to make enough money where they're going to take another swing at it. But it didn't. I guess they already have. Dan Aykroyd says they already have a good story planned, and they really, really added a sense of how much spoilers do you want?
I mean, I don't care.
I don't know. Well, there's just really Dan Aykroyd had one line that was really, oh, I wonder what's going to happen here, and it didn't pay off, but now I'm starting to wonder if it's going to pay off in the third one, because I didn't even know they made this. This was one that popped up in the theater, and I'm like, I didn't even see this trailer online, and then I feel like it just came out really fast.
Yeah. Trying to sneak it in before the actual summer movies get
Yeah,
in.
how is this not a summer? This should have been a summer movie, right?
I don't know. It just seems like such a jumbled mess. That's why I haven't gone to see it. I'm just not interested. You know, it just
Yeah.
seems like just a big mishmash of corporate ideas and probably ideas created from an algorithm.
Yeah. So Jason Reitman, who did do Afterlife, you know, to kind of honor his dad, he was not the director. Gil Keenan was the director, and Jason Reitman was just one of the screenwriters.
Sure, that's fine. I think my idea is better. I think they should take it back. Here's a second idea: do Ghostbusters again. Just reboot it. Do it on a smaller budget. You know what I mean? Hire some. You don't. It doesn't have to be a giant effects movie. It just needs some effects. You know?
Yeah, no, it was a big effects movie.
Start from scratch. Ghostbusters, the same movie. It's like the Dan Aykroyd character. What's his name? Ray Stantz.
Ray Stantz.
Make some breakthrough in ghost detecting technology, and it's like just at some college, right?
Yeah.
And just take it from there. And it's like, I think that we can catch ghosts now. Well, let's build the equipment, and it's just lo-fi. And they actually start a business catching ghosts and go to like little old ladies that see their, see those like legendary kind of ghost things that haunt people, and they catch them and get rid of them. And everybody thinks it's a scam, but it's like, no, we're catching these ghosts. Like, you can do so much. It still works. It's just, they just trying to turn this into Star Wars or something.
Yeah, and they show, like, you can watch on YouTube the
Ghostbusters, but John Wick.
Ghostbuster singular. That would be pretty dope, actually, if you think about that. He's just shooting ghosts up like that.
Yeah.
That would be dope. They really just play off like it was mass delusion, all the stuff that happened with the Ghostbusters.
That's fine. That's fine. I have no problem with that.
No, and I think that what I'm saying is because of that, they could have leaned into what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? Because they could have been like, wait, these guys really own this building? They could have pulled, like, the Ghostbusters sign is still up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Mike's right. Yeah, it's selling toys. It's selling games.
I just think there would have been something cool about the family inheriting the Ghostbusters business and trying to reopen it because they were broke.
Yeah.
It never comes up again that they're so broke in that movie, the first one. It's all about how broke they are, and then they get they inherit Egon's stuff, but they don't do any. They just hang out with it.
Well, they're still broke in this one. That they make a big deal about that. Like, they live in the Ghostbusters.
That's cool. They could have done something.
They are still broke. So even though
Family
Ernie
business
Hudson is
catching
rich,
ghosts.
he did not give them any money.
Family business catching ghosts. I mean, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But I just get the sense that this is just special effects and whatever.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia play. It is for sure.
Toy brand.
That they
Mike
went
says
with
it's
it.
toy brand.
Yeah, in the game they have. I mean, gaming is. What was the game? They had a video game, Spirits Unleashed, where the voice of the original Ghostbusters, they're in there too. So it is just like a brand, and I get the idea now that with Ernie Hudson, who, by the way, there's a picture of him floating around of what he looked like at 38 compared to like 72. It's
Right.
pretty dope.
I saw the picture of him. He's 78.
Yes,
He's older than
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I think.
Yeah. It's just like he still looks really good, but I think I get the feeling that these guys are now just like, screw it, we're just going to take the payday.
Yeah, they don't have many. There's not much work out there for actors anymore. It's like, do your old IPs or nothing.
Yeah.
Or a Netflix movie. It's like there's not much to do. So they got to get those final Ghostbusters checks. But here's the thing. I want you to go back and envision the original Ghostbusters, right? Watch it all the way through in your head from beginning to end, okay? And you get to the end and they're all covered in melted marshmallow, right? At that moment in time where that happened, there was never going to be another world-threatening event.
Right.
They stopped it.
Yeah, they saved the world.
There's not going to be another one in 2 years or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's it. They saved the world, and that was it. Punctuation mark on the movie. And every time they come up with a new Ghostbusters, it's like, let's save the world again.
Yeah, and they like, how many times can you save the world? Can't they just have, like, I like your
Why
idea.
is the world in constant danger?
Right.
Why
Maybe just a small one.
Why can't it just be like, catch a specific ghost?
Has anyone ever did a crossover?
Ghost bounty.
Ghost bounty. Like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but ghost?
Why do ghosts want to end the world? I thought they're just here haunting stuff.
Well, one of the big things that came up in this movie, and it played up a little bit, is it was an alluded to love story between Egon's granddaughter and another female ghost, and people. That's the only thing that I saw people were a little upset about. There's never any payoff on that, so I don't know why people made such a big deal about it. But she was the first that I can think of, other than Egon, normal, just conversational ghosts. Like, it wasn't anything that looked like they had a Staten Island sewer dragon. Like, it was just a girl who just died.
Yeah.
And they, and it was pivotal to the plot. But you're right. I mean, have anyone ever done a Ghostbusters and a Ghost crossover while they're the Ghostbusters chase Sam Wheat?
Well, I mean, Well, what do you mean though? What do you mean by that?
I'd like to see that. Maybe they go after Sam Wheat and he's trying to explain, no, I'm still here because of that. Or go after the ghost, the angry guy from Fast Times at Richmond High and the train ghost. That ghost needs to be
What train ghost? Oh, the train
ghost.
The train ghost and ghost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd like
yeah.
to see them go after that. That's both New York City. I don't know if that's, but I see your point. It doesn't, maybe they're just trying to save the train instead of save the world. I can totally get behind that.
Look, this was you were talking about Swayze Ghost versus.
Oh yeah, there it is. That's what we need to see.
Yeah, that would have been great. Like that's it. Why does the world have to be ending all the time? Why can't it just be Ghostbusters trying to catch a ghost? That's what they do, but it's always the end of the world.
Yeah.
You could have done a sequel to Ghostbusters. Like again, they saved the world, but ghosts exist. That's enough for a movie. The world doesn't have to be ending in every film. Okay?
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right. The stakes, because you don't really feel the stakes of the world ending. I like your AJR. What's up, man? I like his idea. I want to see a Ghostbusters foreign film. Like, you know how terrifying those Korean ghost movies are?
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see let's bust them.
Yeah. I have like a few pages of a script of one that I started that was going to be Ghostbusters foreign film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
I think I'd be down for that. I think that could be really fire. So are you going to see this? I know sometimes you just kind of wait for streaming. Is this going to be a wait for streaming? Or are you going to go see it?
I don't.
You still got your AMC pass?
Yeah.
How many movies? That gives you how many movies a week?
3?
3?
Yeah.
So you can kind of walk in and walk out and feel okay?
Yeah, I feel fine. And plus, yeah. So, like I said, I went to go see that free preview of Screen Unseen, and it was that Marky Mark movie with the dog. And I was like, forget it. I'm going to go to food court instead. But, like, yeah, I don't know if I'll see it. I would, like, again, I went to the movies with Luchalada the other day, and we should have gone to see Ghostbusters. We saw Late Night with the Devil instead. This could be the transition. The transition to the next movie.
Yeah.
But like we saw Late Night with the Devil instead, and I kind of wish I'd watched Ghostbusters just to see it, to get it out of my system, because I'm just torn. I kind of want to see it, but I'm kind of okay. I'm okay not seeing it.
And do you need the love story, like Anthony's saying? Do you need the nerd that is cool too, that can get with Sigourney Weaver, even though she's hotter and taller, and he just uses his funny personality and courage?
Yeah.
That is missing from this one that was in the first one.
Yeah.
You know what else is missing? Drugs. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Because that's like the difference. What's the difference between Blues Brothers, which I would consider probably one of the best films of, it's in the top probably 10 or 20 of best films of all time.
For sure.
And Blues Brothers 2000 with the John Goodman.
Yeah.
That's a steep drop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. But yeah,
Director makes a big difference.
Let's stick with your transition of Late Night with the Devil. We were both pretty psyched. I had to go. Hold on.
I actually never even saw the trailer.
You did it?
Nuh-uh.
They had a teaser trailer. Hold on. I got a BRB.
Okay.
I don't know. It's like 10 seconds.
All right, 10 seconds of vamping. Yeah, I actually never even saw the trailer. I'm gonna try and pull up the photo. I just saw like the tweets and the preview images that they dropped or whatever, and I was just like, okay, this is probably something I'm gonna want to see. It had the Shutter logo on it. I'm like, of course, this is gonna be good. So
Well,
I'd never watch. And if I see something like that, I don't watch the trailer.
You do, yeah, and you didn't really need a trailer, but like right out of the gate, first spoiler for Late Night with the Devil, the Shutter logo on the big screen is freaking fantastic. Bong bong. But they added a little bit of a different twist on there.
Yeah, they amp it up a little bit.
Seeing on the big screen was really good. Honestly, I didn't. Just the casting and the picture on the set is all I really needed for this one. But I really, really like this one. I don't know if you were like blown. Yeah, that's the one. That's all I needed was that picture. If you would have just shown me that picture and said, "Do you want to see that movie?" 100%, 10 out of 10.
Do
yes.
you remember what this is referencing? Like, do you remember seeing this on Mount Aislip local TV? where they
No.
bring in. Well, do you remember like Satanic Panic? Right, there was a time when everybody was just afraid of satanic
Yes,
stuff.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like just like before there was like Geraldo, they used to bring these occultists and stuff on talk shows.
I watched an exorcism on 2020, and not to be like Beetlejuice, but I don't think I laughed so hard in my life. And her name was Minga. Her name was Minga.
Yeah.
And that 20 oh, and so yeah. It was really bad. There was someone in the room that was really, really religious, and they were really, really upset about the amount of laughter that was taking place during this exorcism. It was all I just remember is the word woodchuck. I hope I don't know. I still got to drive home, and it's pretty dark here. But man, oh man! But I know exactly what you're talking about. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
A little bit after, probably like a decade after The Exorcist, right? It really
Yeah,
started pouring
yeah, yeah.
on again.
It all kind of it started there, I think.
But did you like this movie?
I did. I liked the movie.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the movie. I had two things about it. I liked it, but again, I don't know that you need to see this on the big screen.
That's true.
This feels like a TV movie. It definitely feels like a Shudder movie. If you watch Shudder on the reg, this fits right into what the kind of stuff.
Yeah, which it's going to be on Shudder, I think, next week.
My favorite part of the whole movie is that sort of prologue that gives all the backstory.
Yeah, to give it like the Blair Witch feel of like the setup.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I did dig that.
I dig the aesthetic. I love the colors. I love the way it looks. I love the whole gimmick. I thought it was good. You know where it lost me is the behind the scenes.
And that's a good point, because let me bring this up too. So when they're doing what's actually shooting live, they give it the 4:3 like you're watching it on a TV, and it's like old TV watching. But then when they do the BTS stuff, it goes to black and white, it goes to widescreen.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, should they have made that so high def looking? Like, would it have felt a little bit more organic to you if they actually made that look like BTS from the 70s as well?
Maybe, because I was just not a fan of that whole part of it. I would have liked to see the opening style montage documentary stuff come back and explain to me what happened in between the stuff.
Oh, that's a good note.
You know what I mean?
Good note.
I just think that the behind the scenes thing added an extra level, which killed the whole fantasy.
Oh, dude, great note. Oh, man, I wish you were there for that to fix that, because I think that really would have added to make it feel like you were watching a TV show and then a documentary about the TV show about what happened.
And I get why they did it,
note.
and I do understand why they use that. And it makes sense from a writing standpoint, from a directing standpoint, all of that. I just think that when I watched it, that part just took me out of it. And I'm just like, now you've, like, the curtains pulled back. You know what I mean? And this behind the scenes stuff is too on the nose. It's telegraphing everything that's going to happen. So I would have rather had just go back to the montage that says, during the break, this happened, and they talked about this, and they have photos and blah, blah, blah. Maybe they have recordings because there's microphones, right?
Oh, like they've staticky recordings
Because
would have been really good.
So there's stuff, or maybe there's footage, but they're not. It's filmed like a movie at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe there's footage and they're off camera talking, or they're in the distance talking, something like that. Just hold on to what they're doing.
Yeah.
To me, it just
great notes.
That part it brought it down for me. And
Great
then the other
notes.
thing that I told you happened before the show, but but it's good.
It's fun. I wish it was Halloween. Was probably one of my other notes, because
Looked like you want this playing in the background of your Halloween party. For sure.
100%. Hey, yeah, they did a really good job of like making it feel like early Carson. And look at that picture right there. And when I saw that picture, I didn't think horror movie. I thought a little bit of a horror movie. Obviously, that how she looks too. But you know what else I think of? The popcorn you've been eating has been pissed in. Film at 11.
Yeah.
You get that Kentucky Fried Movie feel where that news. Remember the news segment in Kentucky Fried Movie when they brought the gorilla out and hello Oscar and talking about how friendly Oscar is?
Yeah.
And then Oscar just takes him out by getting played off.
I just remember the the astrologist. You're a
Oh,
Taurus, see your florist.
yes. That was so good. Mike said movies getting some heat for using AI art and some set dressing.
Yeah, apparently I saw a little thing about this too. Yeah, so some
the
of
story
the
there?
some of the 1970s art that they use in the film is AI created.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did. I guess I didn't really get pulled into that. I didn't like notice that, but I do remember. I do enjoy like a lot of the set there. I'd like to see. Is there any images of that? Mike, I don't know if you have any images of that, but I didn't. I know, Mike, you wanted to see this as well. Yeah, maybe it worked for me because I went to a theater that's in a really bad part of town, and it was kind of empty. And then when I walked out of the theater, it was just like an empty parking lot, kind of dark.
yeah. Okay, so this is the image that they.
Oh, the night owls.
Yeah. Apparently, this is partially created by AI.
Oh, really?
So people are pissed about that.
Oh, man. Because now images have to, pardon my tissues. Now the images like online, are we getting to the point now where they have to point out when they're AI and not AI?
I mean, we're not there yet, but we may get
It's
there.
close, right? The heat's gonna blow up into a conflict of Metal Gear Solid movie. Oh man, we really do need that Metal Gear Solid movie. But I'm gonna watch this again. I do feel it, but you are absolutely right. I think it could be more enjoyable at home. And if they were doing, I think you know why you're feeling the way you are, and your notes are great, by the way, because you're just such a huge fan of the WNUF Halloween special.
I mean, that's true.
Right? And that felt like you were watching a real newscast.
Yeah.
And they had the commercials in there.
Did
and
you
stuff.
ever buy part 2 on tape? I would
No,
like
I want to.
borrow it.
I'm actually
I want to
gonna.
borrow it if you get it.
I wanted to buy the VHS that had the double, and it was out. But that is on my bucket list to buy, and I'll just buy it from them direct. They're not streaming it anywhere because they do want to try to just like retain the rights and then just sell it the big Halloween mixtape. But yeah, I think we just gotta crack it and buy it. Mike's looking forward to falling asleep on the rainy night. Yeah, I think the
This
aesthetic
is a good one
really
to fall asleep. Yeah, it's a good one to fall asleep to. It's very vibey, especially the portions where it's the live show.
Yeah.
Like again,
Which was the best? Which was the great part of the movie, right?
yeah, that and the opening explainer.
Yeah.
So good. I just didn't. I think I could have done without the behind the scenes stuff, and that would have made it a better movie, in my opinion. You know.
Now you make me really not. So the only thing that I wasn't 100% sure on, and maybe it's for the same reason, was everything that led up to the finale and the ending, where I guess the closest you can really call it is like some kind of fever dream.
Yeah.
It didn't feel, I don't know. I wanted it to feel like when the ape went crazy on everybody in Kentucky Fried Movie, and the movie could have just kind of ended like that and like end transmission type thing.
Yeah.
But it felt cleaner than I expected it to.
Yeah.
But I still loved it. I really, I mean, again, it's all about supporting these movies that are just like taking some chances.
For sure.
You know?
I mean, this played Fantastic Fest. I'm sure it killed at Fantastic Fest.
Oh, it
You know
must
what I
have,
mean?
yeah.
So, yeah, it's a good movie. We need more of these.
We need more of these. And
For
I told
sure.
you, I caught 2 trailers before this movie, and I'm really excited. And I love when horror goes on a little bit of like a low-budget horror run. So we got Cuckoo that's coming out, which looks really cool. And I saw the TV Glow is the title, and that also looks really cool. I don't know if it's going to be like a run the block, but I don't have the links handy, but those are definitely worth checking out because if they were before this movie, that was the vibe that they were going for. But
Yeah.
that girl,
But also Shudder, though.
Shudder, yeah.
This is a good advertising for your Shudder subscription.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that this is a good. I think it's fine to see in the theater, but Mike's right. This is a rainy night at home kind of a movie,
Yeah.
and this will kill on a rainy night at home.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you know, Ghostbusters, Frozen, whatever is going to be on Max, who or whatever channel.
Yeah, I don't even know where that's going to go.
Late Night with the Devil will be on Shutter, and you'd be like, I have this $6.99 Shutter subscription that's
Yeah,
putting
and
out. It's just
I
putting
think
out.
as soon as next
hits.
week it's going to be on.
It's putting out hits.
I like it. I think they just wanted to give it a little bit of a limited run because it had some buzz.
Yeah.
And they went with it. This girl though, let me gotta look her up there. What's the late?
You talking about the possessed girl?
Yeah, great casting, great performance by her. Like she's really good. Like I haven't seen a cool, eerie performance of a female like that since Servant on Apple Plus, which she did so good that she's actually going to be in the Omen prequel that comes out next week.
Is that right?
The first Omen. I don't know if she's going to play Damien's mom, but
She's not the Omen.
yeah, I think she's going to be the mom to the Omen. Look at me, Damien. It's all for you. I enjoyed Christo, the psychic. That scene was really good, right? When he was doing the whole gimmick where he's talking to people in the crowd and trying to pick out the ghost, and then you can tell when he really got possessed. I like the skeptic, the magician that had the Carmichael the Conjurer that had the check that he carried around, and if you can prove him something really that isn't just like a magic trick, you're going to get $500,000. I did like that. But yeah, this had a lot of good elements. A lot of good elements. I think you're really going to enjoy it. It was shot in Melbourne, Australia. Did you know that?
No.
And so here's, I had to do a quick little Google foo on that. It utilizes practical effects, including puppetry, along with digital visual effects, but it also utilizes 3 generated images by AI. So they used a little bit of everything. Do they get points for that?
There's no. Everyone's going to use it. I think Neville Delnue, the director of Dune,
Yeah.
just came out and said they used AI to do the blue eyes in Dune.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
There's no stopping it.
No, there's no stopping it. But it is going to be one of those things. I think horror as a genre, you better use as much practical effects as possible, because I think that we're still kind of going through that 80s renaissance of people just really enjoying that generation of horror films, and that has a lot to do with like practical effects. I don't know if that's going to go away though, right? Do you think eventually that's going to pass?
What is?
Just that the love affair with like that 80s horror, or is it like timeless?
I don't think so. I think that 80s horror is going to become even more of a thing, because it eliminates the horror plot killers, which are cell phones and Google.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
once it eliminates that, so people are always going to be nostalgic for that, and people that don't remember those times will be like, "Whoa, no phones and no Google?
Yeah,
That's scary."
that is that's your horror movie that you want to do. I lost my phone.
Here's another AI created image.
What the hell
I
is
think
going?
this is why people are so against it. This was not created for Late Night with the Devil. This is just generated by AI. This is another thing they did. So I mean, you can make your own opinions.
Yeah. Well, Kyle, right? He said we can't do AI like that in 1984, and he said not for another 40 years, and we just hit that 40 years, right?
I think so.
Right. So terminate. It's time. Come plus simplicity comes back, and also the trippiness. But you would still use what about AI for writing? They just don't want it for pictures or replacing.
I think
people.
all the writers are using it. They're not admitting it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. We're gonna. I think a lot of folks in the industry are already using it and not talking about it. Why
then-
wouldn't you tell the AI to organize your script card notes?
Yeah. But if you're not there to kind of shape, like Mike was talking about this, if you're not like learning those prompts and really using it to carve and shape and putting put your touch on it, where does the art get lost in the technology? Like, is there, or is this a new form of art?
I don't think. I don't know. Is AI like a paintbrush, or is it like? Is it having someone paint for you?
Right. Yeah, I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah. Anyways, Late Night with the Devil is a solid Shudder watch. That's my review. I think it's not necessary. If you missed it at the theater, no big deal.
Yeah, no, I think you'll be fine to watch it online. You want to take a quick break because my cup is empty.
All right, let's get
just
you
take a
some
quick
Advil
break.
Cold and Sinus.
Yeah,
And that'll get you all patched up. Be right back.
BRB.
We'll return after these messages.
私は美味しいハムを届けます。
あなたに美味しい糸ハム。
私のプライド、伝承の味、伊藤ハムの贈り物。
シュワちゃん、
みやちゃん、あれねめんぽい。
武田、昨日街でばったり貧乏神に会ってね、「よう久しぶり、最近飲みに来ないじゃないか」って言ったら「ごめん、不景気で忙しくって」。
ウイスキーを楽しもう。サントリーロイヤル。
エレメントールでひんやり入浴。津村アイシングバス。
Dennis,
Hello?
there was no film in the camera.
What?
ハワイも当たる。
For crying out loud. Maggie, it's not here.
Nihonome toaster. I already put it in.
No, Ahiru-chan.
ミスターホッパーお気に入りのアヒルちゃん、今当たります。津村の
いい湯だな。
まで。
力こぶる日清カップヌードル。
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日立の
Wednesday,
細長
Thursday,
は
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサラ
Sunday comes again.
綺麗な空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
日立ふれあい感謝デー。日立のお店。
私は美味しいハムを贈ります。ハムの名品、伝承の味、伊藤ハムの贈り物。
伊藤ハム is 美味しい。
Centauri.
Okay. How you doing?
Yeah.
Doing better?
Yeah, just needed to wet the whistle. You know, and I just came in hot from a screening of Godzilla X Kong.
That's right.
One of the worst titles.
Apparently, the X is silent.
The X is
No, yeah.
Is it
They
really?
just confirmed this. It's not called Godzilla X Kong. It's just called Godzilla Kong.
Godzilla Kong.
The X just is silent.
Well, I was trying to think of, like, when I was driving, I was like, what can I really say about this movie? You know, and that image really.
I have not seen this one as well.
When
This didn't finish rendering, whatever this is.
Oh yeah, that is odd. That is the Avengers shot, as Mike called it, and I can tell you it was like they had an Avengers assemble in this scene for sure. In this
I don't
movie.
remember Godzilla's arms being this long.
Yeah, they're getting longer and longer with each movie.
That's weird.
Yeah, but I was trying to think of, like, how would you describe this movie? And you know how they say all these new IP franchise movies feel more like amusement park rides than films?
Yeah.
I was sitting there and I was like, if this was an amusement park ride, this would be a really crazy roller coaster, but the roller coaster is part of a carnival that's on the bad side of town, that's in a parking lot, and you're not sure how it stays stable.
Yeah.
And before you walk into the carnival, our carny approaches you and he gives you this pill and he says, take this, it'll make all the rides better.
Yeah.
That's this movie.
Yeah.
That it really does feel like. A few times I was sitting there like, what is happening right now? There's a pretty big swerve with Baby Kong. With Jason, what's up, man?
Jason Smith.
Jason Smith. There's a really crazy swerve with Baby Kong that you're not going to expect.
Yeah.
And then you are going to expect Monster Avengers Assemble. It happens.
Okay. Well, I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, this movie has a rough go of it coming behind Godzilla -1, which is the best Godzilla movie of all time.
Yeah.
And this looks like maybe the stupidest Godzilla movie of all time. But again, there is an era that it's probably referencing where the Godzilla movies were really stupid, right?
Yeah.
The show era, I believe it's called. So yeah, maybe that's the gimmick that they're going for. They're going for the real silly Godzilla era. But I haven't seen it yet. But you did not enjoy it.
I know I enjoyed it. It was fine. I mean, am I going to see it again? Probably not.
Did you see Godzilla the first one? Did you watch that one again?
Yeah, I watched. No, I did regret.
What was the first one called?
It was just called Godzilla.
No, the Godzilla Kong, the last one.
Oh, Godzilla versus Kong.
That one.
Yeah, I am regretting not going to YouTube and going to like Screen Crush and say watch all these movies before you see that. There were some tiebacks to the other. I really didn't enjoy the Monarch show, and I wanted to. In Apple Plus, and so I kind of went in already with a little sour taste about that Monarch stuff. But I do wish I would have went back and see. JJ, what's up, brother? I do wish.
What's up, JJ?
I wish I would have went back and watched a recap of this movie. But yeah, they are getting wild. I have not sat through a movie that did not use any language since Caveman with Ringo Starr.
It didn't use any language?
It didn't use any language for at least 30 minutes.
I'm okay with that if it works.
It was just a lot of like body language of just like Kong trying to communicate with these other ones. And there was a lot of telepathy that was taking place. And then the humans started using telepathy, but there's no captions during this telepathy.
Okay. You know, I'm kind of okay with that.
Yeah. It was a lot of A Quiet Place stuff. Like, the writer's like, what should we do? It's like, I don't know, just give him a look. Just give him a look.
Yeah.
And then they all did that. So then now there's a mind thing that's going on in there. If you do partake before you go see this movie. I'm just going to say it right there.
You're telling me this is a stoner comedy?
This is 100% a stoner comedy. For sure. Like 100%.
Well, now I'm way in for this.
Yeah, I think you should actually go and watch that because I have a dirty confession to make. I went and saw Madam Web in the theater because the curiosity was killing me.
I mean, I kind of wanted to see it too, but I just never got around to
it. Dude, where's my kaiju? That is perfect. That is definitely, dude, where's my kaiju? But yeah, definitely partake before you go see this. I wish I would have done that with Madam Web because right here, prediction on Dos Incredibles, 20 years from now, you are going to be going to midnight screenings of Madam Web and you're going to be cosplaying as Sydney Sweeney. Mark my words, it will happen.
All right.
And yes, and then you'll probably also go see this Godzilla movie as a stoner comedy because, yeah, Godzilla -1.
Well, that's what it needs to be.
This was a tough follow, like you
Well,
said.
I mean, if it's going the exact opposite direction, that's great. If after Godzilla -1, you can't make any kind of serious Godzilla movie.
No.
So if you're telling me that this is a half baked with Godzilla, I could get into that.
Yeah, there's a scene. I'm gonna give one scene away. You're gonna enjoy when Godzilla cuddles up in the Italian Coliseum. They're like, "Oh, he's taking a nap," and then he just kind of gives this like slow eye close.
Godzilla's a cat.
Yeah, Godzilla's a cat. He rolled up, and after he just got into like a huge battle with a lot of needle jobs, by the way, a lot of needle jobs in there, and then he just cozied up and just like, you know what, I'm gonna take a nap here. Because they were just like destroying everything, and everybody was kind of fine with it. It's like he's running through Rio and just like destroying everything. They're like, let him go. He knows what he's doing. Like, you know how many trillions and trillions of dollars in damage he's doing right now? And then they did a scene in Hollow Earth where everybody was kind of upside down, so they were kind of all floating in space like the astronauts, and they're kind of fighting and stuff. And yeah, just go with an open mind that that's what you're actually going in for, because if you're stone cold sober, you're gonna be questioning life decisions.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's cool. That sounds like an AMC
hit
one
McShooter's
for me.
bar.
McShooter's bar.
Yeah, get an Uber, hit McShooter's bar.
Yep.
Do some shots, and you will really enjoy yourself at this movie.
Yep.
But that's if you want to go to theaters. If you want to stay home, we got what we thought was one word, but it's actually two words: Roadhouse. Roadhouse. And you and Mike, you guys beat me to the punch on this. I forgot it was dropping so fast, but I want to let you run with this. Conor McGregor was great in this, but I mean, he made this movie work because he turned his scenes into a meme.
I feel like he just got a WWE contract after this movie, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He absolutely had to.
They're definitely going to use him again, but man, he just like, I'm gonna make myself a meme in this movie, and mission accomplished.
So okay, no, McGregor does not play the Sam Elliott role.
No.
Jason. He plays the heavy that gets his throat ripped out in the original Roadhouse.
Yeah, exactly. Remember, so you thought he was gonna be? I thought he was gonna be that too, but then he was actually.
There is no Sam Elliott role.
He was like a rogue. Like, I almost expect a Conor McGregor like babyface turn. But then he went all like on his own team. But yeah, there was no Sam Elliott role at all. But go ahead and Mario, tell the line that you told me of what this movie should have been called and why it didn't need any link to the OG.
Well, I mean, we talked about this. Mike was on that thread as well. Mike can chime in. This is another in a series of movies where the IP is drowning the quality of the film. This movie is not Roadhouse. Okay? We just have to be clear about that, right?
Yeah.
This is Roadhouse.
Yes.
The other movie is not Roadhouse. But it is a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It is a fun movie.
Myself.
It is a fun movie. It's easy to get along with this movie. It's not hard to pick up on what's going on. To me, it's a throwback to when pretty much the premise of a movie was a guy was really tough, and that's it. That was the plot of the movie. You know, I was into it. I had fun with this movie. It just annoyed me that this is supposed to be Roadhouse. This is Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
Agreed.
It's not Roadhouse, okay? But it's a fun movie, and we said this on the thread. Had this movie just been called Bouncer and dropped on Prime Video, it'd have been like, Gyllenhaal has an awesome surprise hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
It's a fun movie. It works fine, but it's not Roadhouse at all.
No. What other than his last name being Dalton? Do we ever find out Dalton's full name in the original Roadhouse?
No.
But we know this, and he's way less mysterious in this. You actually get he's troubled by demons, where I felt like Patrick Swayze was like, he was zen. He was good to go.
Also, he's not even a bouncer. The whole premise of Roadhouse is that Dalton is the world's best bouncer.
Yes.
Like, you lost me at the initial start of this. It's not correct at all. You missed the assignment. You failed the assignment.
Yeah. He wasn't about. He was a former UFC fighter.
He's a former UFC
which
fighter.
we knew was coming, right?
Who she hired as a mercenary to clean up her bar, which was being thrown. The rest of it doesn't matter. You just lost me at the whole premise is off. Okay? Like,
yeah.
I don't mind the UFC angle. I think that's great. I do like adding that layer into it. But Roadhouse is about bouncers and bouncer culture. And you left that out completely.
Yeah, because you always wonder, it's like, where is he he's like a rich bouncer. Somehow he's made his life living where he's like the, Kitchen Confidential, but he's like Bouncer Confidential. He comes to your bar and he fixes things.
No, here's what was going on. Somewhere between, lines of cocaine at some Hollywood mansion and like whatever, someone just came up with this premise where Dalton treats bouncing like it's martial arts. You know what I mean? That was the whole premise of Roadhouse.
Be nice until it's time to not be nice.
He's super zen and chill and, and a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Right? Just awesome in every way.
Every aspect.
Gyllenhaal, this Dalton is like a scoundrel, lives in his car.
Yeah.
Like, Dalton was sharp. Like, he dressed great. He had, he had a cool car and he had a crappy car to drive to the bar because he knew that they were going to slash the tires. He was just awesome. And this is like a guy who, this is just like some guy. It's not Roadhouse at all.
No. Do you think you think they kept it like Jason said because it's fun to say Roadhouse? Roadhouse.
I mean, probably because of the whole Family Guy memes, right?
Yeah.
It's become a thing. But I think that this to me feels like the Amazon execs, which this maybe Mike can help me confirm, but you haven't seen Reacher. This feels like a Reacher spinoff.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Reacher 2.
I haven't
Dalton.
watched Reacher.
It's like now they've come. It's essentially Reacher. What they took Reacher, turned it into Roadhouse. They were like R to R. It's just, but it's good. I had this movie come out in a theater. Well, actually, there's other issues with this. This movie was not fit for a theater, and I'll tell you why. Something about these straight to streaming movies, they do such a crappy color grade on these movies, right? You've pointed this out before. The lighting is so boring, and the whole color grade
did get some.
And I'm sure this got a pop from a South by audience. It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. It's perfectly fine, but it definitely feels like a streaming movie. It doesn't have just that edge, that polish that a theatrical film does.
And then, what's missing is what the new rule. New rule is you have to do something that passes the torch effectively.
Yeah.
Where you want to call it the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 to 4. You'll need my powers, where she literally threw the torch at them.
Yeah.
You need something, and the only thing other than Dalton and the chicken wire band behind the chicken wire, next to the bookstore, there was a place called the Double Deuce.
Okay.
What was that place?
Behind the Double Deuce?
Next to the bookstore where he got that book.
Oh, right.
It was a place called Double Deuce, but it looked like a bodega or something where you get bacon and cheese.
That's right. So here's my thing. Why can't we go back to the Double Deuce?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why can we not go back to the Double Deuce?
Do you think there's just like they wanted to film
Why cannot the same story happen? I guess because they wanted to shoot it in Florida.
I was going to say, I think they wanted to go to. I was like, have you ever been to Key West? It's really nice.
Yeah, like tax breaks are great. Like, why could we not just go back to the Double Deuce? Why could not the woman who played the one who owned the Roadhouse? Why couldn't she own the Double Deuce? I don't understand that.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
Why is that necessary to change that? The most basic component of the movie. It's like if you were doing another Star Wars, and you're like, nobody uses lightsabers. They use light guns, and they use blaster sabers.
Yeah.
And you just change it for no reason, just to make it different. But here's my why couldn't she have owned the Double Deuce? She bought the Double Deuce. It's the same. Why couldn't Dalton be related to Dalton?
Yeah,
Why couldn't he be Dalton's grandson?
He could have passed the torch.
Exactly.
They could have done a way to pass the torch.
And he taught him about bouncer culture. That was the whole premise of the movie.
It's just like
it's ridiculous that they skip the entire premise of the movie and expect us to accept that as a Roadhouse remake.
I'm a bouncer like my father before me.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all he had to
How much better would that have been?
AJR has the better title. This could have just been called Florida Man.
That's a better title. I was thinking
Man
Bouncer. Florida Man actually is way better.
Yeah, Florida Man's a great title.
That's a great title.
If they would have just did that, that would have been fine. And still did the Double Deuce nod and everything else to nod. But he hired the one bouncer that was like the surf guy, but then they didn't really pay off anything with that. He was training the one bouncer too, and there wasn't a huge payoff on that either, because then he just looked like he was making him do his work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, I don't want to make it seem like this is a bad review. It didn't need to be Roadhouse.
It's not Roadhouse.
Yeah. And they played it up to just like what
this is Roadhouse.
Yes, exactly. Was that the director's way of acknowledging it when they said, "I'm looking for a Roadhouse," and you're like, "No, you're looking for the Roadhouse." It's called the Roadhouse. Like, what was that whole dialogue change?
There was a bunch of giggles that happened in a conference room over that joke, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but why couldn't this takes place at the Double Deuce? This is Dalton's grandson or nephew or something.
Yeah, and he found his book of Zen.
He understands bouncer culture. Like, they just bypass all of that.
Yeah.
It's just he's an ex-UFC fighter who's never been a bouncer before. We hire him to be a bouncer. That's just
he lost his temper.
That's not Roadhouse.
MMA Batman Elseworlds movie.
Did anybody ever drop the "I thought you'd be bigger" joke? No, right?
No. I actually thought the payoff we were going to get was Post Malone, that early fight scene. I thought he was going to drop the line, "His name is Dalton." But that never came. They never even showed him again.
Yeah.
They went to hire Post Malone. He just beat him with his mind because he's like, "Oh no, I'm not fighting him." And then you never saw him again.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to pay, or I thought that was going to be the Sam Elliott guy. I was waiting for that mentor to come, and just you're right, but it was more just like he's troubled with his demons. The darkest part of that, I mean, there was a lot of dark parts, but when he just got a bag of Vites, did he chop that guy's body up and just keep it in a cooler?
I don't think he chopped him up. He just put him in a cooler.
He just put it in the cooler, but for what? Why did he keep that body?
To stage him on a crime scene.
Oh, that's what he did it for?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he went out on the boat, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There was some questionable stuff there. And why? So did he have heat with the Roadhouse owner? I don't remember her character. She's great in Shrinking. Did he have heat with her when he found out she was just a holdout? Because when he got all that cash, he gave it to the bookstore, but he didn't give her any cash.
Yeah.
And he just said, "Keep holding out."
I guess. I don't know. It was a mishmash of weird. It was fine. It was a good movie. Just not Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But
it's probably for best that
Florida Man's a great title. Let's just call it Florida Man.
This is for best that it's coming with your Prime, and just watch it at home. And
this movie comes with 2-day shipping. So it's a bonus.
That's the tagline. Roadhouse free 2-day shipping.
Yeah.
Do you think so? Did this give birth to a franchise, or we're going to see Gyllenhaal? Roadhouse is the S is money. Multiple Roadhouses.
It seems easy to me. You can continue the Dalton mythos from here. He cleaned up the Roadhouse, and now he's going to go clean up the Double Deuce now?
Yeah.
So you swerved us into a prequel?
Yeah, maybe they are going to do that now.
But you could do I don't know if Gyllenhaal's trying to do a prime series, but it would get over, I think, if you turn this into a series. Easy.
I think sometimes we all get worked, man. Did you feel worked by this movie?
No, I thought it was fine. It's just like you just don't need it to be called Roadhouse. You can make Roadhouse as Roadhouse. This could be just Florida Man or the Bouncer or whatever. Florida Bouncer. Bouncer Man. Whatever.
Dalton v.
It's
Reacher.
a perfectly fine movie on its own. You don't have to stick an IP label on it.
Yeah, this did not. Yeah. Moral of the story.
And if you
fun
make,
movie, you didn't need Roadhouse.
If you do make Roadhouse again, just make the movie Roadhouse.
Yeah.
It's about bouncer culture.
Were there any spinning roundhouse kicks? I feel like there was no spinning roundhouse
No,
kicks.
well, I mean, we don't live in that era anymore. We live in the MMA era. It's all about grappling.
It is, yeah.
Nobody's throwing roundhouse kicks anymore.
Yeah, and Ghostbusters Florida Keys. There you go. Roadhouse says Answer the Call. Like, was that in the original title? No, I don't think so. Oh, man. But, yeah, check it out. It comes free with your thing. Do you want to, I don't know, do you want to swerve into our, how I got worked by the internet?
Yeah.
Should we go into that?
Sure.
How do we tee this up? Because this was kind of an improv thing. Do I just jump into the story?
This thing?
Remember this guy? For our viewers at home, do you remember this guy? Do you know who this is? This is the creature from the Black Lagoon, one of the OG from the MonsterVerse owned by Universal. Yeah. That music, oh. It's all coming back to me, man.
So this is what you got.
Look at this, okay? Look at this. All right? Look how beautiful that thing is. Look how huge that is. And Mike, you're absolutely right. So that ad and that music was so good. This was my first foray into, I got to buy this.
Well, it's huge in the ad.
It's huge in the ad. So I buy it, and then I saw a price break. So you click on Shop Now. It brings up increasingly LLY.com. It's like a shipping site that I've never heard of. But it's probably in the lines of, like, I don't know if you've ever ordered anything from Temu. It had a Temu vibe to it. So I go to this ad. I see 25 good reviews. I never really think to go in there and check that this ad does not have an Instagram account. It links to a Facebook page. So, but I freaking love that music. And I love the look of the Gillman. You know, I have a cold tub, right? The plunge tub. I have a lot of decor that I'm putting around it. Like I have, you know, no swimming. I have a Jaws thing. I thought, oh, Gillman would be perfect for the tub. So I don't think this picture that you got it on the close-up is doing justice to how big it looks like in here. What do I do? Should I just pick it up and put it next to my phone?
Well, look, this is how it is on the thing. Looks huge on the thing.
It looks huge on the thing, right?
Well, no, not right there. I mean, that's next to a grown man.
Yeah. I mean, look how wide he has to put his arms apart. And should I put my phone? Should I put this? Thank our friends at Cabo Bob's with Houston, Austin, and San Antonio location. Should I put a cup for scale? Like, what do we?
Just lift it into the frame with you.
Okay, here we go. You guys ready? This is what came. This is it. This is my Gillman. I'll put it. I don't know if I put it right there. That's him. That's what came in the mail. So when I originally ordered this thing, the first sign of suspicion, he's still beautiful though. The first sign of suspicion that I order him, I use PayPal because I want a little bit of security because I never heard of increasingly RRY.com, whatever the site was. I hit purchase because it's like now on sale for $38. I'm like, oh, that's great. $38, that's nothing. I print order on my PayPal. All of a sudden, a notification pops up on my phone it was Chinese. It was written in Chinese. You just ordered something in Chinese, and it said $54. And I'm like, wait, what? So I
There was an extra fee.
Yeah, there was an extra fee. Guess what that extra fee was? They had to take the gill man and put him on a slow boat to China. So it took 30 days.
Passport fees.
Yes, 30 days for this beauty to come to my house. So I had no idea. It was first sitting, it sat in Switzerland for like a week. So I just imagine like this council of just like, do we, I know we're neutral, but should we be sending this to the U.S.? It sat in Switzerland for like a week. So I think their gimmick is they try to stretch it because they're not going to give you a refund. If you go through and read it, you're not getting a refund. And I don't even know how you would ship this back to a slow boat to China.
Once the refund deadline passes, they don't have to refund your money. And that's
right,
gimmick.
exactly.
That's gimmick.
That's the gimmick. So you could fight it in PayPal, but I still think it's beautiful, where I don't know what kind of chemicals or whatever. It's kind of foamy. I think it's going to still do the trick. Just going to have to do. So anyway, once it got here, I was in Jersey, and I was like, hey, I just got the alert that after 30 days my order came. And they're like, yep. I was like, okay, can I see it? And they send a picture of my cold tub. And I'm looking at the cold tub, and I'm like, I don't see it. And they're like, it's there. So for scale, it was so small on the tub, like you couldn't even see it. I should have been suspicious when I was like, your delivery has been left in your mailbox. Bro, my mailbox is like this. It's like a lunchbox. I'm like, how is this left in my mailbox? So then I go and I start refreshing. I go back to that ad. The comments were blocked before. Now the comments are open. You go to the Facebook page. It's completely just like generico, all fake reviews. And then the real comments were like, fraud, fake, this thing is small. This thing is like 10x smaller than the site is in that ad. This ad is misleading. So then I go to the ad and I look at what I thought said 30 inches. Man, they got the metric system. They don't know what 30 inches is. That was 30 centimeters. So I was like, I got worked.
It's still a beautiful toy.
It's still I'm keeping it.
Pull it into the wide shot just so people see the scale again.
Right here. Like, look at this beauty. I mean, it's still beautiful.
Looks worse in the wide shot, kind of. Like, look at the face of it. It doesn't look like it doesn't look like the creature from the Black Lagoon.
I totally got worked, man. And it's just like, I could fight it on.
Looks better in that angle. That looks great.
Yeah, there's some shots that looks really. It looks really good. So Mike says, dropshippers stand up marketing sites and market on social media to drive sales, but buy from places like Alibaba once an order is placed and shipped to your shipping address without even handling it. So the seller might even now have no idea what the size is anyway. So I went looking for this, dude, because I always order on Amazon. Which has the safe return policy. So I went looking for this, dude.
It also has Roadhouse.
And it has Roadhouse.
Comes with Roadhouse.
It comes with Roadhouse. No gill man to be found. You Google it. It's on a couple of shady looking sites, and they all use that same exact picture where it looks like it's huge. They got the fishing net. And then I was like, man, I just really wanted it to be but have you ordered like TikTok Shop or in the Facebook store or Reels? Have you ordered on there?
I haven't. No,
you haven't.
I ordered some stuff not too long ago. I've stopped buying stuff on the internet. That was sort of my New Year's resolution. But I bought some stuff from a T-shirt shop called Totally Rad 80s or something, and I got some decent shirts. But that's literally the only thing I've bought this year.
Well, dude, I went to the Contact Us, and they had like this basically this poem of how good they're going to treat us, but they had no address, like their support address was really generic. I just got totally worked. And now, like, if you go and start refreshing the contents, they're like, "Oh God, this ad is back again." But I don't know, like, it's not a full work because I did get an item for $38 with $12 shipping and handling to get it on a slow boat from China, right? So
can you see? You can see the monitor where you're sitting, right?
Yeah.
Look at the difference from when, and I'm gonna put it in full screen while we're here. Okay, look at the difference from when you have it in the close-up shot and when you lift it into the wide shot. Look at the difference in quality that emerges.
Yeah,
just
you're
look.
right.
Just look. Just you lift it into the wide
Now
shot.
lift it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you see the difference in quality?
Yeah. Holy smokes.
It looks like, it looks super bootleg right here.
Oh man, you're right. I mean, I definitely got worked. It is a Gillman, and it is there. But if you have a koi pond, you're not going to put it on there. They did give you this little hole, right? You got a little hole in the back.
What is that for?
For hanging it. But here's the problem: like when you see in that video, like they kind of hang them so you want it looks about toilet size, right? They kind of get it where. But if I use their hole, this is what it's going to look like. Like Gillman's going down on somebody? Like, what the hell? How am I going to hang this? This is how you really want it to be. So, I got totally worked, man. My first and probably last time of buying something on there. I don't know. You're a fan of the TikTok shop? TikTok shop is running everything, man.
I don't buy stuff online anymore.
No, you're done with that.
Yeah.
You're not even a TikTok guy.
No, I just look at it on my browser. I don't really have it.
Well, I mean, if you guys follow us on TikTok, we're gonna get back to be making shorts here soon. But
right, because this is the season finale.
Yes, we have 61 shorts, and I stopped counting where the music has been muted, which that means then the audio is now muted.
Right.
So if you want to watch our shorts, you're gonna just stick to our YouTube page. Our Instagram still kept them
Thanks,
up.
Biden.
Yeah, and then it's going to be banned, so I think it's going to get worse. But yeah, this is somewhat of a de facto season finale because I will not be back in the Lone Star State until the end of May. We gotta. This is the long Jersey run before we get to the end, and then we're going to do a road trip, come back here, and then we're gonna relaunch and get some stuff going. But we're still gonna cook some stuff up. I told you I went to Smod Castle Cinemas.
That's right.
Which is great. And I actually got there a little early, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Was Kevin there when you went?
Yes, he was. I told you I found that door that he talked about there.
Yeah.
But he wasn't coming out because people were lingering because they had a comedy show that night that he was going to be the MC for. So I did not get to see him. I went and saw, to get in the MonsterVerse mode, I went to see King Kong from 1976. Was the attempt to capitalize on a big monster movie right hot off the heels of Jaws. And I hadn't seen that in a long time.
I like that one.
Jeff Bridges. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I love
that.
Godzilla 76.
That King Kong was really, really eerie looking because that was that Rick Baker who was actually in like a monkey suit.
Right.
But there was something about like he was going real, what I like about the Gillman, he just had this like, he never blinked and he was always just like slow moving towards. But I did enjoy that. But yeah, the theater was like super old. But he bought it. That was the theater he used to go to growing up. But it has a really, really good vibe. Like you're going, and I think it was projectors he said he updated, but he didn't update the carpet. But I was in town early and I'm like, wait, this is where he lived. So I was like, that means the Quick Stop has to be around here.
Yeah.
And it's like a mile from the theater.
I've been shopping for movie theater carpet for the studio.
That would be dope.
It's still out there. You can get pieces of it. Like
Yeah.
It's very durable. It's harsh.
It is, because this has to be like from the 70s. I mean,
Right.
it's still like there, but the Quick Stop on Clerks, dude, it looks untouched. Other than the outside, which they gave fresh paint and then a new sign, but inside, they had the newspapers. The cigarettes were still back there. I saw where the milkmaid was. Like I just bought some. Like, oh, you're gonna buy something? I was like, oh yeah, I'll get a couple Mountain Dews. I'm gonna sit through movies. Like, that's not $7. We need it to be more than $7, or else we're gonna charge you more. And then somebody walked in and like in front of me, and it looked like the milkmaid lady, and I'm like, and she walks right in front of me, and she turns around, and she looks like, oh my God. I didn't see you there. How can I miss you? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know what you meant by that.
Yeah.
And then she kind of moved to the side, and she got cigarettes and lottery tickets. Sorry, I lost it there for a second, but there we go. But yeah, This is a really good part of town, but the point of that story is, I think for our viewers who've watched Christmas Business, I think we need to submit that into the Smodcastle
All right,
Film
we will.
Festival.
We will.
Right?
Maybe we'll get in.
I think we will, man. Because the people who all work there, he is still hiring people that he would hire for like his comic book shop. So when I was in there, I told you the debate they were having, right?
Yeah. No, tell us again.
Do you
for sure.
need to watch Godfather 3, like to get the in full Godfather experience? And then they compared it to, I forgot what they said. What do you remember? What film I told you they compared it to? Oh man,
No.
It was like a film in the series of just like, it was kind of like it's there. Oh, Rocky 5. They compared Godfather 3 to Rocky 5. Like
Rocky 5 gets too much heat.
it gets a lot of heat, and it was getting heat there, and like, but actually was not getting too much heat. They're like, it's a good movie, and you don't need it to watch the story. But if you want to watch it, go ahead. But if you don't, that's fine too. That's what they said for Godfather 3, and that's what he said for Rocky 5. But then it hit me. I was like, these guys are like recording a podcast, but they're just standing there selling popcorn. And then I started to wonder, is this like Truman Show or Pleasantville, where now this whole town is just like has the
Podcastville.
Yeah, it's like Podcastville now, right? That everybody's just going to be like Kevin Smith having these long conversations
An
about
entire town built out of podcasts.
Exactly, dude. It's just like, wait, is this really happening? Like the person behind the collecting the tickets and the pop, and then I was walking down the street, and there was people that were talking about movies, and they must have just walked by the theater, so I get it. But I was like, man, this whole gimmick now is just like Kevin Smith's town. We're all just gonna talk about remember movies from the 80s and 90s.
I mean, yeah, it's just I love those theater vibes. Like I said, when I was at the New Beverly in Los Angeles, and they're playing Breakin' 2.
Oh man,
Lucinda Dickey showed up in a limo, and left in a limo. That was great. It felt huge,
We need to post our pictures. We need to post the Smodcastle. We need to post the new Bev. We need to post that on our socials for sure. Yeah. Oh, did we just crash?
Did we?
Oh no, that was just my computer.
We're still recording.
Okay, but did Quentin do any other updates to the theater besides the projectors?
Where?
Which I'm sure he's maintaining.
At New Beverly?
Yeah.
I don't know. The projection looks really good, but it's 35 millimeters, so
yeah.
It's for the most part, it's all clean, but everything is original. Like I said, it's those old seats.
Yeah. These were the old
seats.
Yeah, you weren't right.
And like I hadn't felt it in as long as I can remember. That's trying to save seats chaos. Leaving your jacket on the seat. Tucking your popcorn into the seat and let it sit there.
Yep.
Like that's what was going on at this movie. And like I was just into it. Like I was sitting in the seats and my cousin was in line trying to get snacks.
You had told me that story and then I got nervous, and then sure enough, Smodcastle was the same way. No reserved seats. So I got there early just in case.
Yeah.
And on the way to the theater, on the 30-minute drive, they changed the time just randomly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the ticket had a completely different time, and he's like, oh, yeah, we had to move some things around. And I'm like, really? It's like, yeah, so it starts at 4:50 now. I was like, oh, okay. And it didn't matter because it was a Saturday afternoon, and I just went on a lark, and it was me and then this dad who brought clearly his daughter and his daughter's friend.
Yeah.
He's like, now I'm going to show you a King Kong movie. This is my King Kong movie that I grew up with. And they were just like giggling the whole time. And I saw him like leaning over and whispering to them. And like, that's Jeff Bridges.
Jeff Bridges. Big Lebowski.
And then you had, the Rick Baker effects and stuff. And that was Jessica Lange's like discovery movie. Like that was like an introducing Jessica Lange. But back on Smodcastle, one thing that threw me off is I really expected like a pre-show, but no, that's reserved for new theaters too. So all you get is music playing over the overheads that are from movie soundtracks, and then Kevin Smith introducing this song, was made famous by Dirty Dancing. I had the time of my life. And then they play the song like he was doing a DJ gimmick.
Yeah.
But the red curtain stayed closed. And then, like, they didn't start it for like 5 more minutes. And I'm like, man, is this a work? Am I getting worked again? Are the movie going to start? And then all of a sudden there's that, and then the curtains open. And then Jay and Silent Bob had their, hey, don't talk, don't text, don't forget to buy snacks. But they were doing their gimmick.
Jay and Silent Bob Theater. That sounds wild, man.
Yeah, I would totally go back.
Yeah, I'd like to go.
Yeah, I did enjoy myself, but I think we got to wrap a little early, dude. I don't know if you have anything else, but I'm having trouble breathing.
Okay,
I brought some Jersey funk. Just came hot off the plane yesterday, literally.
Why didn't you even realize we were doing a show until 10 a.m. this morning?
Yeah, it was literally plane, work, movie, house show live, in that order. So
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, we made it, but like I said, we'll call it our de facto season finale. We'll be back right around Memorial Day, right? So we'll be coming in hot, maybe figure out
new season,
new season, new stuff,
attitude.
new things,
new attitude,
new guests, new attitude, right? Yeah. Are we going to take a letter out? Or are we going to change a letter in there like WWF? We'll see.
Could happen.
But yeah, let's see. Hopefully, just keep clicking. Just keep clicking and keep checking us. We're on all the socials, and we'll be back. So keep an eye on it. Other than that, yeah, enjoy movies and we got a lot of stuff coming up in April. So enjoy going to the movies because that's really the important thing. That's one to grow on.
Cheers, folks.
Cheers.